All right, we're out at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Engel. Mrs. Engel couldn't be here today. She got called into work. So we kind of went about the walk around, the assessment, but this video should be helpful in kind of revisiting the project when the three of us can get back together and hopefully clear up questions with everybody involved. But this is what we have here. Beautiful little home out here in New Braunfels. We're doing a full tear off. The cedar siding that's on there now is doing what cedar typically does. It's curling and bowing and just not an altogether great substrate as it is right now. So doing a full tear off. Go back with the 7/16 inch OSB. I'll go over the Tyvek. Do all the seam tape flashing, everything necessary there. And then the Hardie plank on top of that. We'll be using a Cedar Mill Select 8 1/4 inch. Not too sure on color schemes. There were some things, obviously, design-wise that we couldn't answer today. But, you know, again, we talked about Color Plus and as far as the better solution as far as us painting it. So we're not limited to any colors or anything. So it could be possibly, we will be doing some sort of color change. So that's kind of what we got. We're doing a fascia overlay. There's about 4 or 5 areas of fascia that need to be spot repaired before we do that. So we'll talk about that. The roof is about 4 years old, has a pretty significant, as you can see, metal drip on there. So we really don't want to disrupt any of the drip edge. We're just doing a fascia overlay, doing a reconditioning of the soffit. We have quite a few of these little outrigger guys here. Those will all be wrapped and encased in Hardie plank. Yeah, every single one of those. So that's all been accounted for in our scope of work. But we'll start over here on the right side. We're switching it up again to Cedar Mill Select horizontal. Again, all these little outrigger guys will be wrapped and encased in Hardie plank. We really don't have too many windows that are actually in siding. Most of them are in brick. Again, the soffit will be reconditioned. There's a couple areas where the freeze board, which is this little 1x2 right here, has fallen down. So where needed, not everywhere, where needed only, we will do a freeze board kind of replacement, recalk that. It's caulked right now. It's not mortared to the brick, but where it's indicated, we will do a repair of that freeze board. Everywhere else, we'll leave it alone and just paint it as part of the soffit repair work. Here's that first corner. None of them are to this degree, but there are about 4 additional corners that need to be prepped and repaired before we actually do our Hardie fascia. And on this side, on the right side, you can see we have 1, 2 outriggers right here. On the front, I believe we have 7. But all of those will be encased in the Hardie plank. You can see this little guy. We'll put a wrap on the top of that, head flashing, which isn't existing there now, and then of course this little Aryan siding. Under the front porch, all this will be painted, as well as the soffit and the porch ceiling. The carriage lights can be taken off, and then we'll reinstall those. This is one of the few windows that will actually be wrapped in Hardie plank. This big 6x6 column here will be encased in Hardie. At first we weren't going to do that, but basically after we looked at some of the pictures of the jobs where we have encased it, really like that option. So that's what we'll be doing on this front column as well as 3 rear columns. GFIs here, we did have 1 GFI. I thought they were all in brick, but we looked at the GFI pictures and how nicely we put a little J-box around there and have that recessed into the wall and all trimmed out and nice and sealed up back to the siding. So that'll be done here. We are not doing any painting on this front door situation and side lights, or we'll see here in just a second the left side entry door. So none of these doors will be painted or are accounted for in our scope of work. All this siding under here, however, will be the Hardie plank siding. So here's a couple more of these little outrigger guys. We got 1 more, 2 more here. This bush, obviously something we're going to have a significant landscape prep there. So we have access to that wall, because at this point, and plus once get the Hardie on there, we want to have some airflow back there just so we don't let water sit on that Hardie plank. Not that it would rot it, but it could cause some mildew issue. So this bush will need to be cut back prior to installation. Coming around here, this is where the siding, you can see, is curling pretty bad. These windows will be wrapped head flashing will be set on that top board, and this facing sidewall siding will all be Hardie plank. Garage door wrap is definitely indicated here. The garage door wrap is, the frame is in pretty bad condition, as you can see right here. So that will all be done as part of our scope of work. Will be a garage door wrap with the Hardie. This area above here, well, again, getting rid of the diagonal, going back with the horizontal. We looked at some pictures of that from our job portfolio, and Mr. Engel really liked the way that looked. So we'll be going back with a horizontal outline. The garage, or excuse me, that gable vent will be treated just like a window, be wrapped and flashed, head flashed just like we would a window penetration in the siding. But again, you can see that big old thick metal drip. No need to do really anything there. Got 3 outriggers here. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 and 5 there. Again, this is our left side entry door that will not be painted. We'll leave that as is. Shutters will not be painted. Leave those as they are. But you can see here with the rot, pretty good rot right there. All that needs to be addressed so it doesn't cause further issue back to the into the interior wall cavity. Coming around the backyard here. Again, not a tremendous amount of siding. This corner, some minor rot right up in here, very minor, especially as compared to what we saw before. This soffit area, it's the second H mold, right up under here. I don't know if you can see that on the video. It's okay. Just woke the dog up. Sorry, bud. This area right here, that soffit will need to be repaired. You can see that on the video where it's just peeling away there. So that'll be done as part of our scope of work. Got some critters chewing right up under here, very common. That freeze board there that's in siding will be Hardie plank, so that won't be an issue any longer. All this area around the porch ceiling will be, the siding portion will be Hardie plank. All this porch beam and the porch ceiling will all be painted. Fascia on this porch ceiling is included, just as it is on the main house. So everywhere will be fascia overlay. This is our third corner that has a moderate, minor to moderate degree of rot. So that'll all be fixed before we do the Hardie fascia. Porch columns are all going to be wrapped in Hardie plank. So we got 1, 2, and so we'll be wrapping these 3 porch columns here in Hardie plank. This porch railing all around and on this side here will all be going away. So we'll remove that and dispose it for them, and just create a nice little open porch for them that's a little bit more usable than it is now. This is the 4th corner here. It's already been fixed. It's already been scabbed in a couple times, it looks like. So this little corner here we'll fix up properly, and then caulk and seal it, and then do our installation of the Hardie fascia. Again, back up in this corner, right where the squirrels can perch up there, you can see them gnawing on the freeze board, so we'll get that all fixed up when we do our 1x2 Hardie freeze board. And then here, we have one area right here about 4 feet, and then we had about 4 feet here of freeze board that's fallen down. So again, that's where we're going to focus our repair work on. And again, everywhere else where the freeze board is in brick, we're going to leave it alone. But these couple areas we'll need to just tack it back up and get that all fixed up. And that's pretty much what we got here. Everywhere else is pretty good. As far as fascia and soffit goes, soffit definitely, Hardie soffit is definitely not indicated here. We can do reconditioning of the soffit and give them all the result and longevity that they're going to need from this. So again, here we can see from this back view the separation of the boards. So again, the thought here was to really diagnose that properly and not put a 50-year product on the wall with holes exposed. So that was the thing here, wanting to make sure that we tear that off, get behind there and really see what's going on, see if there's been any water infiltration, especially on about that third board back from the gable vent. It's clearly open, probably to the tune of about a ½ inch. So we want to make sure that no water's gotten back there into the wall cavity before we cover it up for good. So that's kind of our scope of work. Security light, as we see right here, that can be remounted, and we'll take care of that. Chimney's brick, so we're good there. But that's our scope of work. Again, Mr. and Mrs. Engel, we certainly appreciate you having us out, and we look forward to getting back together with the three of us and hopefully talking about some more of the particulars of the project and making sure we clear up all your questions. Thanks so much. We look forward to working for you.